Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Wow, it's bright back here. I'll turn around. So, I was trying to think of something different to do, and I get a lot of questions about, what do you make and what is this and what is that? And my answer is always the same, that I basically meal prep or I food prep in bulk and then I kind of mix and match as I go. Now, granted, when we used to work in offices, I still bulk prepped like that, but I also meal prepped. But this has kind of always been my way to go for dinner. And fortunately, Chuck has said that he's like, man, your recipes are getting really good. And we pretty much eat the same thing. And I'm going to kind of show you how that works. So I'm probably going to flip the camera around for this. This might be messy. I don't know. I've never done something like this. But I want to show you kind of some of the tips and tricks, and maybe it'll spark something for you or give you a good idea of how to do something like this. But yeah, Nude Nation Kitchen Tour. You ready for it? Okay. Remember, we're still under construction, so there might be some things in here you're like, oh, what is that? Anywho. All right, so big glance. We're gonna give you kind of a look through here, looking good. But let's go first, obviously, into the fridge, right? So this is truly how it's set up. This morning I was like, you know what? I'm just going to show people. So when we kind of go through it, notice that, there's a lot of Tupperware containers, and it's not all ticky-tacky little food. But for the most part, things that are at eye level are something that, is either not something interesting, not something kind of snacky. This for me is off limits. That's a Chuck thing. I'm not a big raisin cinnamon person anyway, so it doesn't bother me. OJ, stuff like that is all Chuck. But even if I were to get into some of this, I kind of make some boundaries for myself by, having low-fat milk. Liquid egg whites are always here, so I'm pouring those out. And then really what we're going to get into is the bulk of how I food prep. So this is a cut up onion. I just sliced it and put it in one of these little, I think it's actually a soup container, but whatever. I've got mushrooms that are easy and ready to go, eggs, and then the things that I made this week, put our peas in a little container. I've got a bulk amount of chicken there. You see broccoli is always on hand. Rice is always on hand. This is a bunch of 90-10 beef, and you can see how lean it is. I actually noticed this morning, that there's not a bunch of fat stuck to the bottom of it, so it's a good sign. I've got my spinach in little containers that actually help keep them fresh a little bit longer, so these are both spinach containers. As we go down, we kind of get into the snacks. So we've got a drawer full of, this week it's Oikos Greek yogurt, got some avocado little packs. This is kind of my little fat pack area. So Mexican cheese, remember I shop at Sam's, so this is nothing fancy. I've got smaller containers of different types of cheeses that can be worked into something, or maybe I can just kind of grab and go. So this is Havarti and Gouda, and they've got pretty decent macros. They're not that bad. Got some little Jack snacks. These seem to really satisfy me, which is pretty cool because they're such a tart kind of tangy flavor. I have been on a Too Good yogurt kick, but Sam's didn't have that, so I just moved on. So to me, that means that this is a little higher carb, lower fat, no fat actually. But yeah, so those are all in here. It's kind of the fat area. Move down. I've got the rest of my spinach that didn't fit in my container, so I'll use this first. Some broccoli ready to be steamed, a thing of Brussels sprouts, and then if you guys see a lot of my noodle posts, it's this Pasta Zero or sometimes Miracle Noodles. They don't have Miracle Noodles in Publix, so moved on to this. But for basically the whole bag, you're looking at like 10 carbs to have a full bag of noodles. Yeah, they're a little weird, but when you put them in the right thing, like I had a beef kind of teriyaki bowl last night. They were great. And then you keep moving down into easy carbs. So always have pitas on hand, always have wraps on hams. Shop at Sam's, so you got extra butter. But again, so the basic thing that I do in big fashion is have easy things that I can mix and match. So I can look and say, okay, we're going to have beef tonight. So I'm going to have beef and what flavor do I want? And then I'm going to move on to flavors. So I've got teriyaki, sweet and sour, soy, all kind of, different Asian sauces. Got Frank's Red Hot Wing Sauce, all zeros there. Always have minced garlic on hand. Got our Coke Zeros kind of chilling. This no sugar added ketchup is awesome for an entire serving. It's only 1 carb. So that's the Chelsea ketchup. That's the Chuck ketchup. And then you can even look at, this Classico we think is really great. And for a serving of 125 grams, you're only looking at 1 fat, 8 carbs, 2 grams of protein. So finding things that are easy. So I say, okay, tonight we're going to have beef, but I want to make it more of an Italian. So I moved to something like Classico. I basically have shopped, there's some things like that's just regular old fully loaded maple syrup. Nothing special about that if you know our pancake stuff. But choosing the meat, then I choose the flavor, and then I back into it by choosing the amount of carbs or what types of carbs I can go into. We look at the freezer. Same kind of thing. I got a whole shelf full of Clio bars and Yassos. Got some stuff frozen. I always have frozen vegetables on hand. I usually have cauliflower rice and spirals, but I forgot them this week. But things that are, pretty easy. I face some of the labels out on things that I want to make choices against. So to me, these things are fine. I bought them and don't really like them, but I'm like, okay, remember what you're spending on it. 8 grams of fat, stuff like that. We can move on. So then looking at things that are eye level. So when we walk over to these different cabinets, notice that I put temptation out of the way. So when we open up this cabinet, I can push the coffee back right now. Open up the cabinet. The things at my eye level are going to be vitamins, protein bars. That's actually Perky Jerky, and different SORBs are different supplements. So that's meal replacement, that's post-workout, pre-workout, intra-workout. Got all these different things. Coffee up here. But then as you move up, you notice that the things that are out of my reach are what we would consider junk items. So we've got tempting items up here with, hot cocoa, Oreos, easy packs that make it easy but aren't really the best for my macros all the time. We've got different pancakes up here, cheese cups, chocolate chips. So to me, these things up here are out of reach, and they're also pretty much out of sight. So not only do they not catch my eye when I open it, better choices do down below, but also if I want to get into something like this, I have to actually go get a stool, make the decision, get my little butt up there and get to it. So I've moved temptation out of my immediate sight. Okay. Same thing kind of goes for this corner cabinet. I rearranged these the other day and did a terrible job, but we've got different hydration things. We've got, we make sludge a lot. So our sludge contents are kind of right here. Splenda and everything, mugs up and above. Then as we go down, because we don't have a pantry, this little slide out has a bunch of our easy go-to items as well. So I can reach in here and grab. I pretty much always have peas and green beans, different tomatoes and pastas and things like that. But these things, take a little bit more effort, but help mix and match into different items. So when I look at that carb and then I say, okay, I can only have this much, so I'm going to backfill with these couple items. I have zero noodles or regular noodles, and then I try to work in some color of some sort. But keeping these all pretty much in reach, but they are the last thing considered when I'm building a meal. Is there something else about those? I don't think so. And then kind of looking at setting up your kitchen for success. So although I have this drawer where the scale is, it is pretty much always out on our counter. It's basically sitting there saying, why wouldn't you just use me? It's sitting out right there front and center. Any of the fruits that we don't have right now would sit right there that are in good reach and eye level. Got kitchen tools, got this little thing is a better idea than it actually works. Notice I've had to lean it because it falls out all the time, but it keeps it very easy for me to maneuver through this area without a lot of effort. Again, this is sitting right here saying, use me, weigh me. If you're right there, you might as well just plop it in and kind of go with it. But throughout everything, there's not a lot of temptation. You guys, I did not clean up for this. I know not everyone has the ability to keep it this clean, but the things that I can see very easily are the things that don't tempt me. I have to get out of my reach and go for it. Last kind of cool little thing, I got this from Heather Ackley. I always shout her out for it. But on the side of my fridge, so it's not in plain sight, it's not for anyone else, is a whiteboard stuck to here. So pretty much you can see that I bulk make these different items pretty much every week. So I just leave them up. So this is the raw weight, the cooked weight, the raw weight, any kind of oil that I used, and I just go through and kind of take this out, and I can update my numbers. So as I'm cooking, I can make myself little notes. Notice that I wrote down the weight of my Pyrex for when I was doing a recipe. When I was planning Easter, this is how long this has been up there, I put together the menu. When we did something in a crock pot the other day, we weighed the crock pot, and then we weighed the meat, and then we figured out after. So this looks overwhelming, but it makes it so easy. When I made a pork teriyaki bowl, I was able to weigh the pan, which again, you can see I do it sometimes more than once, what I put in it, and then I can weigh it at the end. So I've got these quick little easy things. I can write it, kind of make it, and then I can go in and change my different recipe. But setting your kitchen up for success is, let's flip the screen. Setting your kitchen up for success makes it so much easier to do the things that you intend to do. So, take the time to move things out of reach that you don't want, throw away old things that don't serve you, put your scale front and center. Sure, scale isn't the prettiest thing, but goal driven, right? Doesn't look that terrible. Make it so easy for you to do the things that you want to do that they are just hanging out there for you. I've got this whiteboard. I just got to jot it down. I don't want that, so I put it out of reach. I put the chuck items up there. Weigh different things. I know a couple of the nudes have actually written on the bottom of their plates and bowls and things what the weights are. Do that. If you don't have something like this whiteboard or don't want to do that, or don't mind writing on the bottom of your bowls, do that. Take that little chance to do that. But the more that you can optimize your kitchen, your flow, the small habits that you have, bulk food prep versus meal prep, makes it so easy. I promise you, it does not take me longer than 30 minutes to make meals for two every single night, because I already have everything done. And a lot of the times I'll actually have two pans going. I'll have one pan where I'm making, whoever's food, and then the other pan is doing the rest of the bulk. So I'll take the full huge thing of meat out, put the prep is going on one side and dinner is going on the other. And it makes it so easy. By the end of it, they're pretty much always done. But now I can mix and match these different items, throw a different sauce on it, be good to go. So if you guys have other questions about specific things that you saw in here, you want to look at macros, you want to look at, I don't know, anything that caught your eye, definitely ask me, because what the system that I have made here and how easy I've made it for myself has been pretty fun and pretty cool to just be able to, toss something together. My dad was over here this past weekend helping us work on our house, and deleted out some of his food and just held up his MyFitnessPal and said, I've got this left. And I said, I can make that work. So I came in and made him, pulled the different items, just having a log in my head of, okay, he's got a good amount of protein, good amount of fat, not many carbs. I've got a low rack carb. At that time I had some pulled pork that we had made, put those together, and I was able to nail his macros within, just a couple grams. So I had the different pieces, the building blocks of building meals, and I was just able to look at numbers and plug those in. So again, don't look at where I am 4 years into this as a nutrition coach, starting a business doing this, and say it's going to happen overnight. But I hope you saw something in here that makes you say, like, okay, I can start doing something like that. Make it out of reach, plain in sight, easy to grab. A little bit of prep goes a long way. Oh, those sauces look cool. Oh, that's a cool way of thinking about going through food. And yeah, hope it works for you. Oh, no, I missed something else. Hold on. Cool. My favorite function. Different spices. So all these spices are great. I'm totally going out of order here. But notice nothing special. All from Sam's. Got taco seasoning, red pepper, garlic, onion, black pepper. All these Saltopias are awesome. My mom has hooked it up. Different flavors. For the pretty much are all zeros. But I caught a couple that have some sugar in it. So those are all cool for flavor. And then in my little Lazy Susan, I've got basically what I consider salad dressings, olive oil, usually toasted sesame oil. This is just sesame oil, coconut. I don't really use that very often. But those are basically my go-tos in here. Pop it open, mix these with some Splenda, and they're great for a dressing. Between olive oil and sesame oil, those are the difference between like an Italian meal and what I would call like an Asian seasoning of some sort. I even have I save little snack packs of peanuts if I want to make like a peanut sauce. But keep little things around, keep them easy, keep them within reach. And yeah, good luck. I hope that helps you guys kind of think through your kitchen, how to set it up. Yeah, I was hoping for some questions or some ideas or some aha moments, but I think that's it. All right, guys, if you saw something you want to ask a question about, let me know, and hope that this was enjoyable. Let me know if you liked it. I think one day maybe I'll do like just a live kind of stream of cooking, but I haven't gotten there yet. So yeah, maybe someday. I'm usually hungry when we get there. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and ask questions. I like them. If you haven't donated to the Rock Your Balls Off, go drop $5 in there. Come on. All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.